Europapa, Europapa. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Okay, I'll get it out the way. So this is my number 3 overall of the year. So John, you were close. You were close. When I watched the YouTube premiere of this song, even after the first 30 seconds, I had the biggest smile on my face. I was like, oh my god, this is so amazing. And it's weird because, like, before the song came out, I was expecting, he's gonna do a happy, what we call it happy hardcore, but they call it gabber in the continental Europe. So I was expecting like something fully in that. And then when the song started, I was like, okay, this is more of a techno song, but I'm not complaining. This is really good. And then we get the gabber bit towards the end, and my jaw frigging drops. I was like, oh my god, he actually went and did it. And I suspect that a lot of people watching this is going to have a similar reaction. Like, as soon as that bit kicks in, like, people's minds are going to be blown. They're going to be like, holy shit, this is epic. And yeah, and it's funny because a couple of days after it dropped, I was seeing update tweets saying that it was getting already millions and millions of views on YouTube, and I was starting to think, hang on a second, I might be crazy, but could this potentially win? And keep in mind, this was weeks before they started shooting up in the odds, because at time of recording, at least, they're up to 3rd now, and because they've just been steadily climbing and climbing and climbing, and it's kind of like, finally people are starting to see the light, because I don't think it's an absolute done deal, because I do think this is a kind of open year, but if you pointed a gun to my head and said, name one country that you think is going to win this year, and only one, I would say this one. I mean, granted, the juries are kind of a question mark, but I would not be surprised if it wins the televote in the final. I think in the semi-final, it's going to win by an absolute landslide. And I kind of got, back to the juries, I've kind of got this weird theory, because there are a lot of songs this year that you would not associate with being jury friendly. And I kind of got this weird theory that, you know, the juries can't vote all of them low, so one of them's got to slip through the cracks and get a surprise top 10 score with the juries, and maybe this could do it. Who knows? I mean, if Finland last year could get, I think it was 5th with the juries last year, then why can't this either? Granted, Finland didn't end up winning, but still, if the maths work out right, then we could see us going back to Rotterdam next year. Who knows? And I will admit that maybe I'm getting a little bit of a bias, because I'm developing some sort of weird emotional connection to Joost, not in a romantic way by any means, but like, how do I explain it? Kind of like, as a fellow creative, I have a lot of fascination with how he comes up with half the shit he does, and I've seen a few interviews with him, and he just seems really endearing and charming, and I think Europe will think the same way. Like, they'll be charmed by him, and he he kind of has one of the saddest backstories of any Eurovision act that I've heard, because he was orphaned when he was a kid. He was raised by his older siblings, and he dropped out of school, and he's basically had to claw and fight his way to where he is now. And I have to respect the grift. Like, he's got a lot more determination and ambition than I do, certainly. And yeah, and you know, when I've developed an emotional connection with certain Eurovision acts in the past, I tend to get a bit too blinded, and I'm a bit worried. Like, I don't want that happening again, because I've learned the hard way that it kind of ends up stinging me. But yeah, I think I've said everything I need to say about this song. I'm curious as to what you think, John. So let's hear you.
So I suspect that this won't win Eurovision, but we are looking at a potential landslide televote winner. Although I'll be interested to see the battle between the Netherlands and Croatia. Very interested to see how that goes down. Who comes out on top? It's difficult because it's not really for me, but everyone around me loves it. So I'm getting on board. I am getting on board, mostly because I don't want to be left out. And there are parts of this song that I do love. They're mainly the rave up parts of the song that remind me of the 90s. And they're very nostalgic. It's like 2 Unlimited are in the room.